Today I'm replacing the front seal on a Ford 302 motor. And this is the one that I pulled. This is the old one. I used a seal puller and a flathead screwdriver and a pair of pliers to get that out. Banged it up a little bit, but just for point of reference, that's what it looks like. So here's the front seal in the vehicle. I've already installed it. You can see that it sits just below the water pump on this 302 motor, and then right above the sway bar and the oil pan on the vehicle. I'd taken a look at some videos before I did this job, and there were a lot of people. Well, some had the motor out of the car and they were putting it in, and then others would had the timing chain cover off the motor, and they were very careful to drive it in with a dead blow or hammer. But you know, I didn't really want to hammer this thing in. I was afraid that I might damage my timing chain cover, so I came up with something to sort of press this front seal in, and I'd like to show y'all what I came up with. I think it just worked brilliantly. First of all, I bought a couple of things for the job. I went up to Ace Hardware and bought a couple of PVC parts here. This is Charlotte Schedule 40 PVC, a PVC coupler. This is a 2-inch diameter coupler, and I guess it's probably about 2.5 inches tall. So it's got one end that's not threaded and the other end is threaded. In addition to that, I bought this cap that has threads on it, and so the reason I did that was this piece, along with this, which is hollowed in the center. Of course, now this came without a hole in it. I had to drill that hole in the top of it, but I'll show you why I did that. So essentially, I can thread this in so that I can get this around the end of the crankshaft in order to press in that front seal. So the end here is going to go up against the front seal and the timing chain cover to force that front seal in. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do on this end. I rented a tool in order to put pressure on this to force that seal up into the timing chain cover. I'll show you the configuration I came up with. In addition to the PVC parts, I rented this harmonic balancer installer from AutoZone. I was already going to have to use it to install the balancer, so I thought I'd try to figure out a way that I could have a second use for it by getting this seal back in there. And so if you take a look at this, they have a variety of different adapters here depending upon the size and threads for your crankshaft bolt that goes into the end of your crankshaft. And on this particular one, I use the 5/8 inch adapter here. And so you've got this piece in the middle. The jack screw is hollow inside, so you just put that thread that bolt through, and then that secures to your adapter. And then in addition to that, you've got what do they call that? The jack screw nut. So that jack screw nut can be threaded up and down on that bolt. So once you have this assembled, what you're going to do is, of course, you're going to have to drill a hole in the end of your PVC cap here that's adequate to thread the jack screw through. And so once you get that set up, this is going to go through the middle of your PVC components here, and it's going to be just like that. So that adapter is going to thread up into where the crankshaft bolt goes on the vehicle, and I'm going to show you what that looks like set up on the car. First thing you do is you go ahead and you thread the adapter into the end of the crankshaft here. Just want to make sure you got enough threads going up in there. Now, at this time, you probably would be a good time to just make sure on your front seal that everything in the bore in the chiming chain cover, you don't have any burrs or anything like that. You don't have any residual RTV or anything that's going to create a problem with the seal going in. I made sure everything was clean, and then I put a light coat of RTV on the seal. where it mates up against the bore and the timing chain cover. So all that was done. You just want to make sure that you've got that front seal positioned in a place where there's not going to be a restriction when you start pressing this thing. So the next step is to go ahead and take your PVC coupler and slide it over your jack screw up to the front seal. So the final step in the process was going ahead and putting the jack screw nut on the jack screw, threading it on there up to the cap on the PVC coupler, and starting to press the front seal in. For the jack screw and tightening the jack screw nut, I think I used a 13 or 14 millimeter open-end wrench here to hold the jack screw in place so it didn't turn while I tightened up the jack screw nut. I used a large crescent wrench for the jack screw nut to tighten it. And as I began to do that, since I had the seal aligned nicely and the timing cover bore, everything went in just very, very smoothly. I think it probably took a couple of minutes to have that thing fully seated. And so once you get it seated there, then you can pull your jack screw nut and twist out your jack screw. And I already showed you, I guess, toward the beginning of the video, what it looks like pressed in there. I'll show you. So that's what it looks like when you get everything pressed in. No damage to the timing chain cover, no damage to the front seal. Everything went in very nicely. Just take your time and make sure that you've got good alignment with that coupler and your front seal there, so that you're putting equal pressure all around that seal when you put it in. Just get under the car, take a look at it, and stand up and look down into the engine bay and make sure you've got good alignment there. But this made the job much easier, so I highly recommend getting that harmonic balancer installer and picking up one of these PVC couplers with a cap like that, threaded cap, and make your life a lot easier, and you won't have to worry at all about damaging your timing chain cover. Hope this video helped somebody. Have a good day.